good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, and buenos dias, buenos tardes, buenos noches. It's that type of news. I'm Dutch Perman, and that is Bruce Robinson. Now listen, I've heard the amount 400 grand a lot in the newspaper, and I'm wondering, can ITTN and ITTP get 400 grand? Individually, because I mean 400 grand seems to be the equivalent number. 400 grand for a bridge and 400 grand for a top UK barrister to come down here and take people's rights and privileges away. Ain't that something? How about that? I'd rather you pay a Bermudian to do that, at least. But I know you all knew that we set up her and harped about same-sex marriage and marriage equality for at least 16 episodes now, I think. And it gets even more incredulous as we go down this rabbit hole of stupidity. It just keeps getting stickier and stickier. And you know what the latest claim is? That this case isn't about same-sex marriage, that it's about the right for legislators to legislate. Let that sink in. Because the person, what? Yeah, that's what it's about. It's protecting the legislator's right to legislate. The judge should not have the power to make things law.
Isn't that the Westminster system?
The judge is apparently supposed to interpret law, but apparently it's up to the legislators at the end of the day.
No, it's up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court supersedes...
Nope. What you're saying is too much fact, and that doesn't make any sense.
But that's not how the government works. The government is there to provide cases, but the judges and the Supreme Court is there to levy the law.
Yes, I agree.
Now, ministers legislate, but they are beholden to the law, yes?
The Constitution.
And the Supreme Court's job is to support the Constitution, yes? So therefore, oh, there's that Cedar Bridge Academy education coming up.
Thank you. My principal is now Commissioner of Education. Thanks.
He should be Minister of Education, but let's not speak about that. So the legislators are now complaining because when they legislate, and that legislation is not beholden to the law.
Well, I got into it with a poster last night because she was saying, oh, legislating, it's a job of legislators. But I don't understand how that could be the case when laws are interpreted by the legal system, yeah?
Yeah, and the legal system is put in there. If the legal system isn't there, then the government can literally do whatever they want.
The government instilled the laws.
Yes.
And they trust the courts to enforce that laws.
Exactly.
Right? So if you have a human rights law, and that judge interpreted that law as saying that same-sex marriage should be legal, and that is what his mandate is, to interpret the law and to make rulings that he sees fair. Now, are they always considered fair? No. Is the legal system fair? No, neither is the government. But at the end of the day, each one has their mandate. And for this legislator thing to take hold, you would think, like, you don't want them to legislate things that you don't like. So you don't want the judge to interpret the law the correct way.
Speaking of legislation that we don't like, isn't the sugar tax supposed to go in Monday?
And that's right. And you know what? I'm going to see the legislators. From my
by the time they would be seeing this, then it would have already gone through. Now that I think about it.
Yep.
So stock up on your sodas.
Well, let's just look at the hypocrisy in this situation.
I would go a step further than that. I would look at the potential danger of this situation. Now, this even supersedes party lines and everything. If governments can challenge the courts,
the law itself,
because they feel that legislators aren't allowed to legislate, which in fact the whole point of the courts is that say they don't legislate to a certain point so that they can't just do whatever.
And just to make sure to remember that domestic partnership was literally a legislation around a legal ruling.
Exactly. But historically speaking, every time a government has not had to go through a court, it has never ended well.
No.
This is why we have court systems.
Checks and balances.
The King of England had too much power and was able to supersede the court. So the barons of England said, sign this piece of paper or else we'll go into war.
That's right.
And he signed a piece of paper.
Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. That's right.
Now, we're not calling the government corrupt. However, if this goes through, then that is the path to corruption. Because if you just have a door open to do willy-nilly whatever you want to do, then let's say Premier Bert says, you know what? Get rid of all the banks. We're doing all crypto. There's no law that now says that you can't do it. If, they say, all right, Dr. Braun can go ahead and make his things twice as expensive. There's no law to stop it. If, I'm not saying that they're going to do these things. I'm not in any way saying that they're going to do any of this. It just opens the door to the terrifying possibility of people in power that aren't upholding to the law.
I'm trying to figure out, bro, why would anybody want to defend the rights of legislators? Legislators will always have the right to legislate. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense. The people, i.e. the everyday Joe, should always be in the government, in the court's corner when it comes to these sort of things, because at the end of the day, the court is supposed to be unbiased. Now, is that always true?
No.
No. But at the end of the day, the court is supposed to be unbiased when it comes to interpreting the law. And most times they are. Just like you have to get the benefit of the doubt to the government. You have to get benefit of the doubt to the court. Now, as the everyday Joe, the court is what protects you from the government flexing its omnipotent muscle on you. Because you have a grounds to fight or to even sue the government based on those laws. So why would I, as a citizen, want to rally behind legislators legislating when that is not at all threatened? Because as we saw, they still were easily able to legislate around the first court ruling with domestic partnership, which made us look retarded.
Retarded?
Well,
okay.
Politically correct made us look stupid. Not retarded. Sorry. Yeah, politically correct. And the hypocrisy of it is that here we have a parliament who says, oh, we don't want to be beholden to the UK. We'll make a register when we want to. No one tells us what to do. Oh, governor, we don't want you to handle the cup for cup match. You guys just go back to Britain. But then you want to hire a top shot British lawyer to come down here and fight this battle for you.
Pay $400,000 for her. At least that's the number quoted.
Yeah, that's the number quoted, $400,000. The same quote that Lieutenant Colonel David Birch gave for the bridge. So you paid a bridge for this man.
Lieutenant Colonel who?
Blum.
There you
go. Yeah, but you think it's funny that we've had a government that comes in and says, oh, we'll listen to people, but then you have somebody like Blum who say, oh, if you're down that hill, it doesn't matter. We have a government that says we put Bermudians first, but when the solar plant came up, they gave it to the Canadians first. We have a government that says, we don't want the governor. We don't want too many ties or to be beholden to the UK, but yet we will let a hotshot UK barrister come down here and fight our battles for us or for our government. And then we want to have a lot of flack when the commissioner was brought down from the UK and overshadowed Bermudians. And we want to kick up about that, but we don't want to kick up about this. So my thing is, how exactly can the PLP have a stance at all on anything when all they do is go back on it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. We're pulling out schools, and there has not been one quoted reason as to why, except for the fact that it's the people's feedback. You need to tell me why, and that's something they just don't do very well. And I'm struggling to feel, I'm struggling to wrap my head around how people can still support such paper-thin arguments. Same-sex marriage is worth $400,000 of taxpayers' money when we have children that have no litigators to defend them, children that are appearing in court with no defense because we don't have the budget to hire litigators, but we have $400,000 to give to a bridge, $400,000 to give to a barrister, and $1.2 million to give to a rich man. I'm not understanding. I'm trying to understand.
I thought we were out of money.
We ain't got of money apparently.
Apparently not.
And I'm trying to figure out what is the actual point. I mean, Premier is in New York. Well, he was meeting with FinTech and this and that and people, but back home, it's 400 grand being shelled out apparently.
At least that's never recorded. That's never recorded.
Being said, because
because all the firm will be right up our ass talking on us saying that we misquoted people.
Yeah, but either way, you're hiring some hotshot lawyer, and he's coming down here to contest a court ruling that has ruled twice now. It's been twice. So this is literally a battle between legislators, government, and the court system, which should make any citizen completely bonkers that a government is standing up to the court system, which defines it. They abide by the court, the law, not the other way around. The courts are beholden to the government like we all are to an extent, but the court is what separates them from absolute power.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, my issue is 1.2 million to Dr. Braun. Or Dr. You're Blump. At least that's what was quoted. If it's more, if it's less, then...
Well, that one came from Minister Wilson.
Well, I don't know. Math has never been our politician's strong suit. Except for good old Bob the Builder.
Yeah. Good old Bob.
400,000 allegedly to this lawyer, and another 400,000 allegedly to this bridge. That's $2 million. How much does it cost to get mold out of a school?
Not $2 million.
How much does it cost to provide financial aid to certain people?
Not $2 million.
How much does it cost to buy some new trash trucks?
Not $2 million.
How much does it cost to simply let stuff be that should be?
Well, that is free.
Free 99.
My favorite number. Free.
And that is what I am saying. And this is what the message is. We would rather spend money, taxpayers' dollars, to take away a minority's right to do something.
That's right.
A small percentage,
that's correct,
less than 10, maybe even less than 5% of the population. We all know it's probably closer to 15 to 20, but all these undercovers, including those ones in certain positions, don't want to come out. But this is the message that we're sending to the world. This is the message that we're saying to Bermudians, that we would rather spend money, and I'm going to use the word, and a lot of people's not going to like this. What little friends I had in the PLP are going to be going after this. You would rather spend taxpayers' money after we're already almost $2 billion in debt. You would rather spend money oppressing people than just leaving it be. Now I understand not only ministers agree with this. I understand, but whatever. But whoever hired that person to come down from England to fight our battles for us, battles that shouldn't even be fought, it's ridiculous. It's insane to me. And how, like, anyone could just willingly be like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you don't like same-sex marriage, oh man, it's just little these gay boys should get married. Oh, okay, big rebel in your house.
Yeah, they ain't got to marry in your house.
But they taking $400,000 from you. Let me ask you something. Would you spend $400,000 on the lawyer? To fight something you simply didn't like? I don't like mayonnaise. Let's say me and you go to the government and say, I don't like mayonnaise. We're going to spend $3 million banning Hellman's mayonnaise from Bermuda. Like, it baffles me.
What baffles me is how wishy-washy we as Bermudians are with our taxpayer money. Like, everyone says, oh, you know what the big thing was when Dr. Ewa Brown or Dr. Ewa Blump was being
There you go.
investigated, it was what a waste of taxpayers' money, Trevor Munnis. That could be used for something else, like education. And then the PLP has started taking the trumpets out and banging the drums and saying, well, we want that money for education. They're trying to tear down a black man, and that money could have easily went towards something productive. And now, fast forward. Here we are now, with the PLP government doing the same thing, and everybody is just, woo! This is what we need because we're going to protect our kids and stuff like that. You do understand that just because they can't marry doesn't make them not gay, right? So if your children were in danger, or if you felt as though their lifestyle was infringing on yours, it still will.
Actually, what's funny is one of the guys who trains the EMTs is gay.
How about that?
We have them teaching our children, we have them cooking our food, we have them driving our taxis, we have them driving our buses, we have them selling us our clothes, we have them doing everything.
Law, doctors, businessman, repair guys.
Don't get married.
Yeah, you can do that.
Matter of fact, no, not just don't get married. We'd actually be willing to spend a few $100,000 to stop you from getting married.
$400,000 that could have been used for children to have litigators.
For children to be able to go to school without getting sick. For I saw something in the newspaper that Wi-Fi is in the schools, but it's not in the classrooms. Maybe if we had spent a couple $100,000 more on Wi-Fi in the schools, it would reach the classrooms. This is the problem we have.
I think it wasn't in the hallways.
It said not in the classroom in the newspaper, so I'm good with that.
Okay.
Now, this is the problem I have. Why is it like I just don't understand. Like, my brain cells are just like committing seppuku right now.
I'm trying to figure out who's still holding on to the pipe dream that David Barr's gonna have this budget balance by 2020.
Well, if we're spending $2 million on stuff that we don't need to be spending $2 million on, if ministers are flying away and not reporting how much, I mean, we don't know how much the ministers are spending. I mean, I don't know if they're booking first class tickets to England. I don't know if they're book. I don't know.
I think they've been pretty good with their travel laws.
Well,
that's what I've been hearing.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong about that. I haven't seen. Me personally, I haven't seen anything. I looked it up today. I didn't find anything, but I could be wrong. We are, we're not perfect here. We are quite unperfect here. It's that type of party. However, still better than some people.
It's just a matter of where there's oodles of places that money could have made a significant difference, and it's very sad that we, as a people, we choose to allow our government to kind of just take on things without any sort of actual necessity. I mean, like, what is the necessity? Everything is going up. Healthcare is going up. Social insurance is going up. Everything is going up.
It's more than just that, because now that I think about it, if I remember correctly, didn't the government give Somerset Cricket Club $75,000? It was reported that, at least. Didn't they give Carnival money as well?
There's no way that budget is going to be done.
So we're spending money on Carnival. Everyone has a good time. Fun. Great. We're spending money on Cut Match. Everyone has a good time. Fun. Great. We're spending money on Dr. Ewa Brown. Why? Okay. We're spending money to stop people from getting married. Okay. We're spending money on this bridge that nobody asked for. Okay. Where is this money coming from? Because don't we have $2 billion to pay off? I mean, if you were... Okay, now, let's use this analogy. If you owe your landlord money for rent, and they see you buying groceries, they're not going to say anything.
No.
They see you paying electricity, they're not going to say anything. They see you putting gas in your car, they're not going to say anything. But when they see you going out on Friday, it's a problem. When they see you buying the newest iPhone, it's a problem. When they see you buying, going out with some girl and stuff, spending all this money on her, it's a problem. When you're spending money on stuff that you need, no one will say anything. If you spent $2 million on fixing schools, no problem. You spent $2 million on disabled children's education, no problem. You spent $2 million
on mental health.
No problem. But when you're spending $2 million on things that nobody needs, when you're spending money on stuff to make you feel better, when you're spending money on keeping your former members happy, even though they already have fat pockets,
former leaders,
fatter than 99% of the rest of us, because whether you like to admit it or not, black man or not, he is part of that 1%. And if you think he's chilling up in the Ebony Tower, no, he's looking down at the Ebony Tower from the Ivory Tower.
That's why he used to always have those golf trips when he was premier. You weren't doing nobody's barbecue and nothing like that. He is around there golfing up in his country clubs.
Now, if you're well off and if that's how you choose to spend your money, we are in no way saying that we have anything against those that are more fortunate than the rest of us. But what we are saying is that those that are more fortunate than the rest of us don't need money from the government.
Not millions.
We have people on financial aid that can barely support their families. We have people that have families that can't even get financial aid. But this is what we're spending our money on.
1.2 million is just the third payment.
Now this is the thing.
He's had 2 payments for that.
Now this is the thing. If there's other government payments being made to all these things that we're talking about, I need to see some receipts.
Even if they're off, he should be getting that.
He shouldn't be getting that.
That could have been bad.
But I don't want to say that they're not doing all this stuff when they could be and it's just not being publicized. I need receipts.
Yeah, but they could be doing that even more effectively if they had used that money to add to the money that they might be giving to these things.
I'm just saying that to shut up on the burn.
No quarter for this foolishness. Because at the end of the day, people want to say, well, if the government does you wrong, you should get paid back. Where does it stop then? What is the precedence then? Where does it stop? Does Treats get 1.2 million for lost revenue from the sugar tax?
Wait, no. You just said if the government does you wrong. So if they pass this through, are old gay people now subservient to getting money from the government?
If they suffered an injustice?
An injustice anywhere is an injustice anywhere.
And that's the precedence that is being set here. So everybody who says, well, he has earned the money because the OBA went after him. But yet, like I ask the question all the time, if Michael Dunkley came forward and said, I want a payout for my lost revenue.
No. If he got a payout, we would have strung him up by a tree and lit his ass on
because
fire.
he's a rich white man. It's fine for a rich black man there. To us, it's not fine for anybody who's rich to be getting handouts before those who need. That's what we're saying. If you want to compensate Brown, then you need to find the money to compensate people that need it too. Nobody cares. Like, I don't care. We don't care if he's getting paid. But what we're saying is that he shouldn't take priority over those who need it. I'm sorry. If you want to pay him too, then you need to pay everybody else. You need to compensate all these companies getting hit by the sugar tax. You need to.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. Otherwise than that, he shouldn't have got nothing. It's that simple. Especially not 3 times. That's ridiculous.
All of it's ridiculous. Nah. It's been real. Peace.
Let's see if Premier Brett balances that budget in 2020. It's been that type of news. I'm Dutch Perman. That's Bruce Robinson. Have a good night.
Maybe we can download some bitcoins. That'll fix it.
Crypto crap. I got it in there.